Welcome back to this women's team final from Stuttgart. Next up, Macri on the vault for Italy. The start of rotation 3. That was nice.
That Yushchenko vault, backward somersault with double twist, marked out of 15.8.
Daniela Drunser for Romania next out on the floor. Drunser, one of the younger athletes, Vince, and for me that makes the floor routine even more difficult. The younger athletes just simply don't have the grace and elegance to carry out the floor routines to the maximum.
That's right, this young lady, one of the 15-year-old 1992 born gymnasts. Oh boy, she can tumble. Good triple twist to start. But to many people critical of the rules for floor exercise, there really is very little reward or chance to show dance and elegance. It's pose, tumble, all the way through. How much difficulty can you chuck in, how quickly? Possibly a disservice for our sport. Yeah, 3 tumbles already, and she's only been going for 20 seconds. Good high jump, showing that split position. That's what's so crucial for recognitions from the judges. Most gymnasts showing 4 tumbles, 1 or 2 of the smaller compact gymnasts managing to fit in 5 or even 6. Combination tumble, one of the requirements, so there's that 4th run, that 2.5 twist and rebounds into a front somersault. 1.5 twist into backwards and 1.5 twist forwards, and she's one of those that manages to squeeze 6 tumbles into a minute and a half. It's all about difficulty and tariff. Very little about elegance and grace.
In terms of the new code, a very good routine from Drunser. We know why the new code is there. We know what happened in Athens that put the judges under pressure, and hence the codes trying to rule out some of these more subjective judging decisions in routines like the floor. But Drunser should have scored well there.
But of course, in Athens, it wasn't women's gymnastics that failed to deliver on the judging front, so very much having a reassessment of their code that perhaps hadn't failed them.
Oh, that's a very good point, Vince. It was the sport as a whole that was judged, wasn't it, post-Athens? Anastasia Lukin, having put her team in pole position with a fantastic asymmetric bar routine, will now come out to the beam. This could be just one of those shaky areas for the USA in this team final.
Lukin was brilliant in the first round. Let's see if she can repeat that performance. Now, many teams using tactical investment of their athletes. Lukin not working every apparatus, not floor and vault today. And that really is very impressive. Free walkover into that backflip, pike somersault, all perfectly linked. A bit more elegance and maturity to this apparatus by this tall, rangy gymnast. Such a master at correcting any deviation on those jumps with turns. It's called a sheep jump, meant to show full arch and drop the head back to look at her feet. Not quite enough. That really is a photographer's dream. That switch change jump would show such a good range of movement and elegance. So far, so good.
Oh dear, missed that.
Really, crisis disaster. She can't believe it. Focused on the end of the beam prior to that dismount. She does a twisting dismount, but as she steps into that round off, she just has a little foot slip on what we call the hurdle position as she skips into that round off, and decided that there was no chance of her doing her complex dismount, and so just played safe, walked away in one piece and just did a simple back somersault. If you see it in slow, as she skips in there, you'll see the foot slip down the side.
Yeah, I apologise, Vince. I'm afraid that one caught me completely cold. I was enjoying the routine so much, looking forward for the dismount, and it just didn't happen. Drunsea, 14.375. Judges sending her back to the drawing board in terms of the routine and how it will be judged come Beijing.
But don't forget, floor is the one apparatus where the scores are depressed, so that, whilst lacking in flair, is an exceptionally difficult routine, and that very few will surpass.
Now Vanessa Ferrari on the vault. We'll see her fleetingly, the 2006 all-round champion, and once again solid as ever.
Yeah. Now, as I mentioned earlier, certain teams choosing to rest their all-around gymnasts that have got a major championships tomorrow. I beg your pardon, on Friday after the men's team final. She's been suffering an injury, so that was pretty scrappy around the legs and only doing 2 apparatus, whereas Barbosa, the Brazilian, and the 2 Romanians all working all around.
15.100 for Ferrari. Another chance to look at Izbasa of Romania in action. Romania, China, USA, Russia still in contention after the first 2 rotations. We're in rotation 3.
So Izbasa working 4 apparatus today. The Romanians extremely tough. Train
they have to get through the work, don't they?
Anyone.
Goodness me.
And doing 4 apparatus for them is no great shakes. She'll come out and do that most days without much trouble. Good solid first tumble. But as you noticed earlier, that spin deviating out of balance. 6 judges positioned round the floor, and 2 tariff judges called the A panel evaluate the difficulty. But you're just searching for a gymnast with some of the charisma of the Corkinas and Ponors of this world to smile and inject a little bit more emotion into the performance.
And basically get the crowd on side. We haven't had that yet. I think Drunsea got closest to it. A couple of impish moves in her routine that nearly interested the crowd.
Very knowledgeable crowd, but as you say, nothing to set your heart alight.
Izbasa then keeps this Romanian challenge ticking along. I don't like to put you on the spot too many times, but a higher mark than Drunsea or less, do you think?
Well, the difficulty was comparable. I think the judges are going to have to look at her leg form and style, and I suspect possibly 1 or 2 tenths below.
Just looking back at Drunsea, 14.375 for her, which I was maybe a little critical of.
Oh my goodness, my reputation
on the line.
Yeah, it's gonna fall in tatters, I believe. But it was those 6 tumbles that possibly gave her a kickstart on a tariff. This gymnast slightly more mature, but jump